Mr. Heavyweight Boxing today?
Hey, what's up, man? This is Chris, the Nightmare Ariola, and you're watching Mr. Boxing today.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man, so I want to give my quick opinion about this fight that's coming up next weekend, July 15th. It will be on DAZN. It's a part of that Baumgartner fight. So it's going to be on DAZN July 15th. Jermaine Franklin back in action, man, taking on Junior Wright. All right, now Junior Wright is a fighter. When he turned pro at light heavyweight. So he's had 25 fights in total. I'll say about 4 or 5 of them been at light heavyweight. Then he probably had about 13, maybe 12 or 13 cruiserweight fights, and about 7 or 8 heavyweight fights, somewhere in there. You guys can look it up yourself. All right, but he did, challenge for a world title at cruiserweight 3 times. I know he lost to, what was the guy he lost to, man? Shumanov? One of those guys, man. But he challenged for a couple vacant cruiserweight titles, all right? When I watch him, man, he is coming in on a 2-fight win streak, all right? That fight, his 3 fights ago, he got knocked out against a guy named, what's that guy's name? Joe Jones. That fight is actually, clip of the fight is on YouTube. He got hit with a couple good he got hit with a right hand, got hurt, got buzzed. Then Jones stepped in with a left hook and another right hand and got him out of there. When I go back and I look at Wright, to me, he was, he looked much quicker, much fluid and agile. He doesn't stand as straight up in the air as he does at heavyweight. Looking at his cruiserweight fights looked a little bit quicker with his hands, and he was moving a little bit more, moving his head offline. At heavyweight, man, I don't know if it's the weight gain or what, because he'll literally go from weighing 198 one fight, then in the very next fight, he'll fight at heavyweight at like 228. And the fight he got knocked out against Jones, I'm not sure he was in the best of shape, man. I think he came in at like 230 some odd pounds, like 232, 233, somewhere in there. All right, and then his last 2 wins, he's been, 219, 220, around those weights. All right, 223 I think was his highest, but like 219, 223, somewhere in that, much better shape than when he comes in the 230s. All right, one of his wins that he picked up, he landed a good. He had fought Brian Howard. You guys remember Brian Howard? He's a guy that's had an upset victory against Carlos Negron, first round knockout. But he fought Brian Howard and he set up a left hook to the body. And then he came upstairs with a left hook upstairs and he knocked him out. All right. And then his last fight, he set the guy up downstairs, touched him to the body, boom, came over with an overhand right. I think that was Colby Madison who he fought in his last fight. So his last 2 wins, he's setting up knockout by going to the body first. Now, when he's in there fighting, and to me, I think he just thinks clearer, fights a much cleaner fight when when he's at a good weight. All right. And he's mobile and he can move. All right. So he does bring that to the table, does bring some championship, as far as fighting in championship fights experience. He brings that in, so, but I think Franklin's going to win this fight, man. I think he just has the quicker hands, and it's weight issues for both of these guys, right? I'm just curious to see what these guys are going to weigh in at. But Franklin's another one, man. Like his last fight with AJ, when he came in around that, them 230s, well, I think he was like 234 or something like that. He looked very quick hands, slipping punches much better than he did in the Dillian White fight, in my opinion. But Franklin come in at 250 in the 250s, or he may come in 260s. He may come in at 230s. But if he's in shape and around that 230-ish mark and somewhere in there, he's going to be a handful for a Wright to deal with. But I think he has very good hand speed. His jab is really good, man. Underrated in my opinion. And he has good hand speed. I thought that jab was I think the jab was what bust AJ's nose in the second round. I believe it was like a jab right hand combination. And he legitimately won some rounds in the White fight and the AJ fight. The round that sticks out to me in the White fight was that 9th round when he finished it up, had White against the ropes, working combinations upstairs, going to his body. He even had Dillian White smiling after the round. We know what the smile means. They, wasn't liking what was going on. All right, but I thought in those fights, what did give him trouble was AJ fighting when AJ chose to fight from long range. He was able to land clean punches on Franklin. He had his moments in those fights where he was doing that to Jermaine, but Jermaine was doing a good job throughout the fight of slipping punches and coming back with his own. All right. He does kind of have lulls in action where he's not as active if you will as you would like for him to be. And I thought White was doing was trying to put his weight on him and grab him and wrap him up and walk him backwards and that type of thing. And I don't think that Wright will be able to enjoy those types of advantages in this fight. I think Franklin's going to be the stronger fighter in the fight. Just because he's the more natural heavyweight and the guy that naturally weighs more. Now it doesn't mean you're stronger, but I just think just the style of the fighters and his hand speed, I think is going to give Wright a lot of problems, especially if he's standing straight up in the air. I think Franklin has more, bend at the knees a little bit more, and just has the faster hands. All right, but I can see this fight going the distance, especially if Wright comes in shape. I think that Franklin will win, most, if not majority of the rounds in a fight like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if it were to go to decision, but Franklin sweeping all the rounds. But good to see Jermaine Franklin back. You guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm going.